Hello class, today I'll discuss with you guys how to do topics on functions. Okay, I'll explain all the basics and then showing you the necessary steps on how to get the answers. And this syllabus is applicable for IGCSE 0580 Mathematics as well as GCE O-Level Mathematics. So check out the link in the description below if you need a soft copy for this. So please also support the site as they do provide many amazing contents for topical past papers. So f of x, right? F of x is equal to 5 minus 3x, right? F of x is equal to 5 minus 3x. So what you need to do, okay, sorry, this might be misprinted, huh? So f of x is equal to 5 minus 3x. So given that f of negative 1, what will be your answer? So you just need to sub x equal to negative 1, put it in, f negative 1, 5 minus 3, negative 1, that will be 5 plus 3, so that will be 8. Okay, so your answer should be, the answer that you have to write, it should be 8. So that should get you 1 mark over there. Okay, so followed by, I believe this is the misprinting issues. So the actual one should be written like this: f inverse of x. So how do you find inverse? So given that fx is equal to 5 minus 3x, okay, always let your fx be y, okay, 5 minus 3. Okay, this is a small case x, right? Change it to capital X. Okay, so and then from here make x as a subject. Make subject. So what you should do is, okay, let me rewrite this, put this on the left and put this on the right. Basically it's the same thing. Move the 5 to the other side, it becomes y minus 5. Okay, the negative 3, move it to the other side, it becomes y minus 5, negative 3. So remember, the negative here, you can also rewrite it in this form: negative y, okay, which here initially it should be positive, right? But this negative can be implemented to the top. So negative y plus 5 over 3. So at last you remove the negative sign from the denominator. So this should be your final answer. Okay, but are you sure you're gonna write in this way? Of course not. So change this, okay, x back to the inverse of f. So this is how you should write your final answer. And then finally, change this y back to small case x plus 5 over 3. So hold on, let me make it smaller. So f inverse of 8. So what is going on here when you see this symbol? Okay, remember class, x, when you put x into the functions and then you put them into the inverse again once more, okay, you will always get back the x. Okay, so it doesn't matter, f inverse of x, you always get the x. In a similar fashions, okay, if you put x inside f functions, okay, or you put it back into f, you will always get back the same thing. Okay, so f inverse and f, it will also lead you to x, so it doesn't matter. Okay, you are doing the functions, meaning when you are doing the inverse, you are actually basically going back. So the relationship is like this. Okay, so from here you are using the f functions. So basically the function of inverse, you're basically going back to x, right? So you can clearly see that here this is 8, so the x should be equivalent to 8. X cubed, let me rewrite this properly. Fx equal to x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 4. So f of negative 1, so all you need to do is to substitute x equal to negative 1. Okay, substitute x equal to negative 1 inside the x of the functions. So put in negative 1, 4. So there should be negative 1, negative 3, negative 6, negative 4. Negative 4 minus 10 should be negative 14. Negative 14 should be your answer in order to get full mark. So g of fx. So this is basically the composite function where you need to put fx inside the function of g. So you know that fx, right? Fx is this long chain of equations, cubic equation x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 4. Okay, so take this. Okay, take this long equations, then put it back in here, gx. So replace the 2 with the x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 4, okay, minus 1. So eventually you need to simplify your answer. Okay, that's why it's worth 2 marks. So expand everything inside. 2x cubed, 6x squared, 12x minus 8 minus 1. How do you write your answer? Combine all like terms together. 2x cubed minus 6x squared plus 12x minus 9. Okay, that should give you another 2 marks. As for g inverse of x, okay, how do we solve for this? So eventually you need gx, right? Gx, given that our gx is 2x minus 1, okay, 2x minus 1. So let this gx be something else, be y, and then x be the capital X, and then you try to make this x as subject, okay, as the main subject. So 2x is equal to y plus 1, x equal to y plus 1 over 2. Last but not least, replace g inverse of x equal to x plus 1 over 2. This should be your final answer. This one should be written as f inverse and fx. As similar to the previous example, right? When you put inverse into normal functions, you will definitely always get back the x. Again, I will explain the theory. Okay, from x, okay, you put f inverse, f normal functions, you're definitely gonna get fx, and then you put a f inverse, you are basically going back to what you have right there. So you're still going to have x at the end. Okay, so find in its simplest form, f inverse is equal to fx. So what is the answer? The answer is just x. Okay, that is the simplest answer that you can get. So they're just basically trying to pull your leg here. This one is different from f inverse and f. Okay, this thing is not equal to f inverse of fx, nor is not equal to f inverse of x. So remember, this is just a normal composite functions. Okay, you have to solve by basically putting function of f into the function of x. Okay, so 3, replace the x with 3x minus 1, and then minus 1. Expand it in 9x minus 3 minus 1, so 9x minus 4. Okay. 9x minus 4 should be your final answer. Solve for f of x is equal to 0. So you're given 2 functions. Okay. Next question, you're given 2 functions. So focus on the fx first. Let this fx is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. So how do I let this equal to 0 then? X squared minus 4x plus 3 to 0. Right? You have to solve for quadratic equations. So by now, okay, you should be able to comfortably solve quadratics. So know that they are both x and x. Okay? By trial and error method, so you know what should give you 3. Positive 3 should be 1 multiplied by 3. So, or there's another possibility, which is negative 1 times negative 3. So in this case, when we have negative 4, negative in between, so we just put negative 1 and negative 3. Remember class, you can always check your answer. Okay, take negative 1 multiplied by x, okay, and negative 3 multiplied by x, check for it, and make sure you have, okay, make sure this answer is equal to the middle term. Okay, so when the middle term and the outcome matches, so it shows that your quadratic solution is valid. So solve, right? So we haven't done yet. X minus 1 equals to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x equal to 1, x equal to 3. x1 equal to 1, x2 is equal to 3. You should have these two answers as part of your solutions. Okay, we have g inverse. Okay, solve for g inverse of x. So given that g x is 2x minus 1, so we let g x be y, and then this one is 2x minus 1. So again, make x as a subject. I rewrite this. So x equal to y plus 1, x equal to y plus 1 over 2. Okay, so remember, you always have to rewrite it back. Don't just leave your answer like this. Rewrite it back to g inverse of x plus 1 over 2. You should leave your final answer like this. Okay, as for the last part of these questions, given that we are required to solve f(x) is equal to g of x. So let's see how do we solve this type of questions. So x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 2x minus 1. So remember that the questions, they told you in advance that you need to put your answer into 2 decimal places. Let's see what it means. Okay, so first, group all the like terms together. 4x minus 2x plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 0. X squared minus 6x plus 4. So, and you are required to solve these quadratic equations, but this time, since they already gave you the biggest hint, 2 decimal place, so you should rely on the quadratic formula. Minus b plus and minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so next one, 1 minus 6 plus 4. This will be the indications of what is your a, which is 1, b is equal to minus 6, c is equal to 4. So next, what you need to do is to plug in the value. Okay, plug in the value of a, b, and c carefully into the quadratic equations. So minus b, minus 6, that will be 6, plus and minus. Okay, b squared, and with negative 6, that should be 36, minus 4, a, c, okay, over 2, a. So 6 plus and minus, 36 minus 16, 4 and 4, this will give you 16. So 36 minus 16, that will be square root of 22. So you will have both x1 is equal to 6 plus sub 20 over 2, or x2, 6 minus sub 20 over 2. So how do you convert your answer or write your answer in decimal form? So all you need is to just key in this value carefully into your calculator. Okay, divided by 2. So you should get 5.2, or in 2 decimal places. And the other one, 6 minus sub 20 divided by 2, 0.76 in 2 decimal places. So for this, again, it's another composite functions, g f of negative 2. All we need to do is to, hold on, let me just copy this and then put it back here, so it's easier for me to look at it later. Oopsie, oopsie. There we go. Okay. So g of f of negative 2. So you need to look at the composite functions in this way. So you need to find f of negative 2. F of negative 2, negative 2 squared minus 4 minus 2 plus 3. So that would be 4 plus 8 plus 3. Okay, so a plus 3 plus 4, technically that should give you 15. Okay, so take note of this value, put it back in, so it looks like this, 15. Okay, so now it's a clear indication that you need to put this 15 back into your function of g. So g 15 will be equal to 2, 15 minus 1. Okay, so 2 times 15 minus 1, you should get 29 as your final answer. Okay, so this question itself is worth 2 marks. Right. And last but not least, we are required to solve f of gx, and then we are also required to simplify your answer. So we're not gonna solve anything, but we're just gonna find the expression of f gx. Okay, again, you know that gx is 2x minus 1. So all you need to do now, okay, is to put 2x minus 1 into the original fx equation. This is gonna be very long. So 2x minus 1 square and 4, 2x minus 1 plus 3. So you'll be getting tested for algebra here. Okay, so do the normal expansion. So this will be 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. Okay, expand this in, minus 8x plus 4 plus 3. Next, group all the like terms together, 4x squared. Okay, and minus 4 minus 8 minus 12x, 1 plus 4 plus 3, so it's plus 8. Okay. So this is the answer that has been correctly factorized or even expanded. Okay, can we still, oh, maybe we can still further simplify our answer, right? So you can consider taking out the 4. Okay, this is just extra. Whether or not you want to do it, it's up to you. But you can further simplify them by taking out the 4. Factorize the 4. X squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, now this is a quadratic expressions, so you can further factorize it. Okay, by trial and error. So you know that 2. Okay, what will give you plus 2 is either 1 times 2 or negative 1 times negative 2. So try with the second options, negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so the final answer, okay, that you will get rewarded for full mark would be 4x minus 1 and x minus 2. Okay, this is the answer that has been correctly simplified and also factorized. Okay, so let me just erase this part. You can further simplify your answer in this regard. The correct questions format should be function of f of negative 1 over 2. So very simple, just substitute the negative half into your main equations over here. So 2 times negative half minus 1 minus 1 minus 1, that should be negative 2. So you should have negative 2 as your answer. Moving on, g of x. So similar to the previous questions, all you need is to substitute x equal to negative 5 into the function of g. So g, negative 5, that would be negative 5 squared plus 1, 25 plus 1, that would be 26. Okay, 26. So h, okay, h of negative 3. So put your negative 3 inside here. H of negative 3. So 2 multiplied by negative 3, that would be negative 6. Okay. Find the inverse functions of f of x. Okay. So given that the function of f is 2x minus 1, let this one, okay, let f of x become y. Let this x become capital X. Then make x as a subject. So 2x minus 1 equal to y. Okay. 2x equal to y plus 1. Continue. Okay, make this 2. Going down, x is equal to y plus 1 over 2. Okay, remember? Lastly, change it back, rewrite it. F inverse of x would be x plus 1 over 2. Okay, this is the final answer. Gx is equal to z. Find x in terms of z. So this is technically not difficult, but it's just the way they ask is just different. So what you need to do is to replace this g of x with x squared plus 1, as you already know that, oh, the function of g of x is x squared plus 1. Let it be equal to z. Okay. Now you want to find x in terms of z, meaning you need to make x as your subject. Okay. Make x as your subject. So x squared is equal to z minus 1. So make sure you have a square root of z minus 1. So leave it like this. Okay. Leave your answer like this. That should be the correct answer. So z minus 1, just leave it there in order to secure the 2 marks. Next questions involving another composite functions where we need to simplify it into simplest form. So g f x, okay. Make sure you rewrite fx into 2x minus 1. Okay, then simply put this one, replace the x in the g, okay, in the function of g, so that it will look like this. Okay, 2x minus 1 square plus 1. Okay, but it says that in the simplest form, right? So you are required to expand this whole log into 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 and plus 1. Okay, so last but not least, make sure your answer is, make sure you group all the like terms together, 4x squared minus 4x plus 2. Okay. Hx is equal to, given that hx is equal to 2x, so what is the value of x when your hx is 512? So just change this one to 512, let it be 2x. So make x as a subject, 512 divided by 2, narrow it down, that should be your answer, which is 256. Okay, we are needed to solve the equations of 2 f of x plus g of x equal to 0. So we have to give our answer correct to 2 decimal place. So 2x minus 1, okay, just replace the function of fx and then function of gx with x squared plus 1, rewrite them, make sure you expand this, 4x minus 2 plus x squared plus 1 equal to, don't forget that equal to 0, x squared plus 4x minus 1 is equal to 0. So when they mention 2 decimal places and you have quadratic equations, so this is time where you use the quadratic formula. Okay, plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So x squared, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, c is equal to minus 1. We write 1, 4, c is minus 1. So a is equal to minus 4 plus and minus. Okay, 4 squared minus 4a. C, make sure you put a bracket just to be safe. 2, 1 plus minus. So 16 plus 4, that should be 20 over 2. So you have two value, x1 is equal to 4, x2 is equal to minus 4 minus 20 over 2. Minus 4 divided by 2, 0.24. That should be in 2 decimal places, right? As wanted by the questions, 0.24. And the other one, minus 4, minus by 20, minus by 2. So you have minus 4, 4. Okay, that should be your final answer. 0.24 and minus 0.4.24. You are required to sketch the graph of the function. So just a reminder, so when x is the power of 1, you know that this is totally linear and then it is a straight line. Okay, so relate this thing in the form of y equal to mx plus c. So the negative 1 is your y-intercept. So y is equal to minus 1 is definitely one of the point that you will cross. Okay. Secondly, so you should find, what is the point when the line touches the x-axis. So the line will touch the x-axis when y is equal to 0. So find the 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So a quick one, x will be equal to 1 over 2. So just put a 1 over 2 over here. 1 over 2, 0, the coordinates, 0 minus 1. And then complete the straight line. That should get you full mark for the sketch. Okay, 2x minus 1. And for the case of graph, x squared plus 1. Okay, x squared plus 1, you should be able to see the lowest point. Okay, the lowest point, okay, this should be, by recognizing the pattern, this should be a curve for sure. This should be a curve, and then it's a minimum curve. Okay, meaning it must have a lowest point. Okay, it must have the lowest point. So it's a U-shaped parabola, and then put it 0. The minimum point should be 0 and 1. Okay? 0 and so based on this graph, you know the pattern, you know the shape. So 0, 1 is the lowest point that you can go. 0, 1. Okay, so how should you sketch the graph? So make sure it's symmetrical. Okay, So, see, hold on, let me just make it nicer. Let me start from here. Okay, that's the lowest point. Then, should be something like this. It's a U-shaped parabola going upwards. Okay, 0, 1 is literally the minimum point, the lowest that you can go. Finally, label your curve, and then you should be able to get full mark for the sketch. Okay.